Ever buy something and think, wait, why did I just do that? Like, did you need those neon shoelaces?
Right.
We're diving deep into the marketing genius of Seth Godin today, using his books to uncover the psychology behind our purchases, why we buy what we buy.
We all do it.
Hopefully you'll walk away knowing how to spot a marketing masterpiece and maybe even unleash your inner creative genius.
It all starts with what Seth calls worldview, which is basically the lens you see the world through, often without even realizing it. Your worldview shapes your wants, your needs, how you interpret those flashy marketing messages.
And that's where things get interesting, right? Godin's book, All Marketers Are Liars, definitely grabbed my attention. Is he saying we're being tricked into buying things?
It's not really about deception as much as storytelling. Think of it this way. Marketers try to present their product in a way that aligns with your worldview, even if it means, stretching the truth about its actual value. They tap into your desires and beliefs about what's important, what's cool, even what defines you.
Okay, I need an example. What about those crazy expensive wine glasses that cost hundreds of dollars? Is that all just marketing hype?
Yeah, so let's talk about George Greedle. He built an empire selling these high-end glasses with the story that the shape enhances the taste of the wine.
Okay.
Now, does the shape actually make the wine taste better?
I don't know.
The science is fuzzy at best, but people believe it does. And that belief alone changes their entire experience.
Interesting.
They're buying into a story, a feeling of luxury and refinement.
So we're falling for a carefully crafted story. We're lying to ourselves by buying into the hype.
You got it. We choose to believe the story because it fits with our desires, right? Think about luxury cars, designer clothes, even organic foods. We often pay a premium for the image, the feeling, the identity we associate with those products.
So how can anyone stand out in this sea of marketing messages where everyone's trying to tell the best story? Godin has this purple cow idea, and I think this gets at it perfectly.
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
Okay, so imagine driving past fields of cows, right? You've seen cows your whole life, no big deal. But then, bam, a purple cow.
Whoa.
It's remarkable, completely unexpected, and you're telling everyone about it later.
Definitely.
It's memorable.
So products and ideas have to be purple cows to stand out from the competition.
Absolutely. Think about Apple. Their products were innovative, beautifully designed, and they instantly became cultural icons. They're the purple cow in the tech world.
Right.
But you don't need to be a tech giant to be remarkable.
So how does a small business, say a local bakery or bookstore, become a purple cow?
That's where soft innovation comes in. Like, let's say that bakery includes a handwritten thank you note with each order.
Ah.
It's a small touch, but it's memorable. It elevates their brand. They've found a way to surprise and delight their customers, give them something to talk about.
I love that. It's about those unexpected, delightful details that make you stand out. I was recently at a restaurant that had the most amazing handwritten thank you notes on their takeout bags.
Yep.
Such a small touch, but it made them stand out. Okay, so you've created this purple cow, this remarkable product or experience. How do you get people to actually notice it in a world saturated with advertising?
That is the question.
Right.
This is where permission marketing takes center stage. Instead of bombarding people with ads, you build relationships with your audience. Think curated email lists, loyalty programs, or creating valuable content people actually want to see.
So it's like that friend who always sends you cool articles, not the one spamming you with random links.
Exactly. And it's far more effective in the long run, because when someone chooses to connect with your brand, they're already open to what you have to say.
It's almost like you're earning their trust, right? Instead of interrupting their day with a loud commercial, you're becoming like a valued source of information or entertainment.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that ties into Godin's book, We Are All Weird. He argues that in a world of infinite choices, people crave authenticity. They're drawn to individuals and brands that aren't afraid to, embrace their quirks and stand out from the crowd.
So weird is the new cool. I like it.
Absolutely. It's about showcasing what makes you unique, those passions and quirks that make you, you. And with the internet, it's easier than ever to find your audience.
Right.
Think about it. You're no longer limited by geography or like traditional media.
Right.
You can connect with people all over the world who share your interests.
It's like everyone has a megaphone now and they can choose who they want to listen to.
Exactly. Instead of relying on gatekeepers like publishers or record labels, you can build a community around your ideas and create a direct dialogue with your audience.
Yeah.
This brings us back to permission marketing. It's about recognizing that people are bombarded with information.
Right.
They're more likely to pay attention to someone they trust, someone who provides value, someone who respects their time and attention.
It's about building those genuine connections, really.
Yeah.
People can spot a phony a mile away. If you're not genuine, they're not going to give you their permission, let alone their business.
You said it. Authenticity is key.
Yeah.
And it's not just about being weird or different for the sake of it.
Right.
It's about tapping into what genuinely sets you apart and letting that shine through in everything you do.
This whole conversation kind of makes me think about those influencers online, the ones who seem to effortlessly build these massive followings. Do you think they're all naturally charismatic, or is there more to it?
Well, I mean, while natural charisma certainly helps, I think a lot of it comes down to the principles we're discussing. These influencers are masters of permission marketing.
Yeah.
They create engaging content, they build relationships with their followers, and they're genuinely passionate about what they're sharing.
That makes a lot of sense. People can tell when you're phoning it in, right? So it's not just about having a large following, it's about the quality of those connections.
Precisely. And this is where Godin's concept of the linchpin comes into play. He argues that the most valuable people are those who are indispensable. They're the ones with the unique skills, knowledge, and perspective that make them invaluable to their team, their organization, or their audience.
So becoming a linchpin isn't about following the rules or, climbing the corporate ladder.
Not at all. It's about taking initiative, being creative, and constantly looking for ways to add value. Think about like the go-to person on your team, the one everyone turns to when they need help or have a challenging problem to solve.
Oh, yeah.
That's a linchpin.
That reminds me of this amazing pastry chef I know. She's not just incredible and talented, but she's always willing to share her knowledge, help her colleagues, and go the extra mile. Everyone loves working with her.
There you go. She's found a way to be indispensable by honing her craft and being generous with her knowledge and expertise.
So how can someone become more linchpin in their own life or career?
It starts with identifying your unique strengths and passions. What are you naturally good at? What do you enjoy doing that also adds value to others? It's about finding that sweet spot where your skills and interests intersect with, the needs of the world around you.
That's really powerful. So it's about more than just finding a job. It's about finding your purpose, your zone of genius, and then sharing it with the world.
Exactly. And Godin would argue that becoming a linchpin often requires embracing your weirdness, those qualities that make you stand out from the crowd.
Yeah.
It's about having the courage to be yourself, even when it feels risky or uncomfortable.
I love that. It's about owning your unique perspective and trusting that it has value.
And it's about being willing to put yourself out there, to share your work, your ideas, and your authentic self with the world, even when it's scary, even when you're not sure what the outcome will be.
Speaking of scary, Godin's book, The Dip, really resonated with me. He talks about how there are always going to be moments of doubt, difficulty, and even failure on the path to success. And it's those who are willing to push through those tough times that ultimately achieve their goals.
And that's so important. I think a lot of people give up on their dreams because they hit a rough patch and assume it means they're not cut out for it.
It's like they're giving up right before the miracle happens,
All right.
when things are about to turn around.
Exactly. And that's where resilience and perseverance come in. Godin would say it's about understanding the difference between a dip, like a temporary setback, and a cul-de-sac, a dead end that's just not worth pursuing.
So how do you know when to quit versus when to double down? I feel like that's something a lot of people struggle with.
Yeah, that's a great question. And there's no easy answer. But I think it comes down to a combination of intuition, self-awareness, and a willingness to honestly assess the situation.
Yeah.
Like, are you passionate enough about this to keep going even when it's hard?
Right.
Are you learning and growing from the challenges, or are you just hitting your head against a wall?
It reminds me of that saying, if you're going through hell, keep going. Sometimes you just have to push through the discomfort to reach the other side.
Absolutely. And sometimes walking away is the bravest and smartest thing you can do.
Right.
It's about recognizing when a path is no longer serving you and having the courage to course correct.
This whole conversation has been such a great reminder that success isn't linear, right? It's messy, it's unpredictable, and it requires a lot of trial and error.
I completely agree. I think we put so much pressure on ourselves to have it all figured out,
Right.
to follow a certain path, to achieve certain milestones by a certain age.
Yeah.
But the reality is, life is full of surprises, both good and bad, and our ability to adapt and learn from those experiences is what ultimately determines our success.
It's like we're all making it up as we go along.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
And I think there's something really freeing about that realization. It allows us to be more experimental, to take more risks, to embrace the unknown.
It's about trusting the journey, even when we don't know where it's going to lead.
Precisely. And being open to the possibility that we might end up somewhere completely unexpected, somewhere even more amazing than we could have imagined.
This whole conversation kind of reminds me of something you said earlier about finding your tribe. I think that's such an important part of the journey, finding those people who support you, encourage you, and inspire you to be your best self.
I couldn't agree more. We all need those people in our lives. Those who understand our quirks, celebrate our wins, and offer a shoulder to cry on when things get tough.
And sometimes finding your tribe means letting go of relationships that no longer serve you, even if it's difficult.
That's right. It's about creating space in your life for the people who lift you up, who challenge you to grow, and who make you excited about the possibilities.
We've covered so much ground today, from worldview and purple cows to permission marketing and the dip. It's incredible how interconnected these ideas are and how they can be applied to so many different aspects of our lives.
It's a testament to the power of Seth Godin's thinking, really. He has a way of taking these complex ideas and making them accessible, relatable, and actionable.
I'm walking away from this conversation feeling incredibly inspired and energized. I'm ready to embrace my inner purple cow, to find my tribe, to push through those dips and to, never stop learning and growing.
That's fantastic. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. There's a whole community of like-minded individuals out there who are on a similar journey.
To our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the brilliant mind of Seth Godin. We hope you found it as insightful and inspiring as we did. Remember, the world needs your unique voice, your creativity, and your willingness to be your authentic, weird, and wonderful self. Until next time, keep learning, keep creating, and keep being remarkable.